What's up everybody and welcome back. It's the NBA Fanatic, Johnny P. I want to bring you another video, but first let me apologize because my family was in town, so I just took the last week off. I did not make any videos, and I'll tell you what, for all of you that hung around, been waiting on me, I really appreciate it. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to do my best in these next couple videos, see if I can step it up to a whole new level. But first off, I want to talk about my boy Kyrie Irving. I'm sure y'all heard about it, but the news broke that they are going to let his rehab and his healing go possibly all the way up to January with his kneecap. Now, he broke his kneecap in the finals when they were playing against the Warriors. I think he had a little collision. He came to a stop or went to cut or something, had a little collision with Klay Thompson, whatever, his kneecap broke, right? So he's on the path to recovery right now, but as we know, the season starts at the end of October. But they're not saying he'll be back until January. So I wrote down a few pros, I wrote down a few cons, just some thoughts that I had floating around in my head. This is not a complete list, but just some things I wanted to share with you. So, I mean, technically speaking, one of the pros about him being out and getting his rest is we don't technically need him. Yes, I love watching my man Kyrie Irving play. However, we got LeBron, right? We have LeBron, we have Kevin Love, we have a million other really good players. We do not need him, and we're in the East, don't forget. So the wins you need in the East, you don't even have to have a 50-50 team. I mean, you don't even have to win half your games. You really honestly don't. So any team with LeBron is gonna make the playoffs. Let's just be honest about that. So we technically don't need Kyrie. So he can take the time to sit out, rest up, get healthy as long as his conditioning's right, and heal it the way it needs to be healed. With him being out also, this will give LeBron and Kevin Love some time to gel. Kevin Love will be back, and I think they need more time. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of chemistry between Kyrie and LeBron. I can't say that with LeBron and Kevin Love, that they're on that same level. However, this will give them time to grow. Kevin Love will be the number two. He'll be able to pick up kind of where Kyrie left off as far as an offensive threat. Even though he does it in a whole different fashion, you never know. He might get involved. You don't know what's going to play out with this whole Tristan Thompson thing because he has not yet signed with Cleveland. So maybe we'll need Kevin Love to be the rebounder that he once was. I also have written down that there's also 2 point guards ready to go. First off, let's start off with Matthew Dellavedova. I've talked about him a million times. You know I got nothing but love for my man, Machine Gun Delly. And I'm glad to have him back on the team. That was a very cheap contract. He's a very high energy player. He gives a really crazy burst of energy off of the bench, and that's great, right? But my favorite player in the league is my man Mo Williams. And Mo Williams is back with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I would assume that he would be the starting point guard, but that's only because he's a veteran. He has, I mean, this dude can still drop a ton of points, and he's really good. So I could see him being the starting point guard for the Cavs, with Delly being a backup to him. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with Dellavedova when Kyrie comes back and they're 3 point guards deep. However, I would like to see my man Mo start, but he can come off the bench. No big deal. I don't think he really minds at this point in his career, whatever. And Dellavedova, being younger, he could potentially grow a little bit. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. But we already have 2 point guards, essentially. So we don't necessarily need Kyrie to be back in the picture. We need him to be healthy. That's what we need. We need him to be healthy going into the playoffs. You know, so if he gets into January, it will give him some time to gel and get that chemistry back up before the playoffs hit, right? So as far as the cons, I said, what if, let's just pretend my man Mo Williams starts winning, just like they used to, because he was in Cleveland before. If you didn't know that, he did play in Cleveland. He and LeBron were the 1-2 show, right? So what if they get off to a great start and they start winning like they used to? Let's say January rolls around and they've been real hot up to that point. Now, you're not going to sign Kyrie to this big contract and then not play him. You can't do that, right? Kyrie's one of the faces of your franchise. He's your number 2 guy. So you have to put Kyrie back in the game, but I would hate to break up all the chemistry that they had built at that point. And by inserting Kyrie back into the lineup, who's to say that Kevin Love wouldn't kind of want to take another step back? I don't know if I would want to see that or not. So you could kind of mess with the chemistry, kind of mess with the flow, the ebbing and the flowing of the team. So that's one of the cons I had. But like I said, you have to put our man Kyrie Irving back in. I would want him back in, you know, but it could potentially mess up any system that they have up to that point. And hopefully, when he does come back, the three of them will be able to coexist and play really well together. I also wrote down just asking, like, does this put extra pressure on LeBron? LeBron, let's be honest, he wants to play with other superstars. He went to Cleveland because not only is it his hometown and it's Cleveland, blah, 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 but he wants to play with Kyrie. And he knows Kyrie is young, Kyrie can shoot, he is clutch, and we know Kyrie can handle the ball. He wants to play with Kyrie. With Kyrie being out, just like any other team, it's LeBron's team, but he has one less major weapon to win with. So we saw what happened in these last finals. He was gassed. He was just tired, right? It happened, whatever. But it'd be nice to have Kyrie back and have that tandem going on back and forth. But with Kyrie out, it puts extra pressure on LeBron's shoulders. I think LeBron can handle it, but still, he'll have to keep those wins up, try to get a good, you know, seed going into the playoffs. Even though they say Kyrie will be back in January, we technically don't know that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. And then another con that I had written down is, does he actually need all that time? Or are they just preserving him? And do the other players feel that he should be playing? So that's a big one. So when you look at this whole Tristan Thompson thing, and again, I will make a video on Tristan Thompson one of these days when something happens, but you know, when you have Kyrie sitting out, injury after injury after injury, it makes you wonder about the players who don't get injured, if they kind of question his injuries, if he's milking it, or are the Cavaliers preserving him to keep him super fresh going into next year, essentially 2016. Like, could he come back before this? There's a lot of questions there. And if I question that as a fan, I can't imagine that other players on the team don't question that as well. You know, it's just one of those things where I wonder if, you know, like, yes, do I want a healthy Kyrie? Absolutely. Do I want him to sit out until he's 100% ready to go? Absolutely. But I'm not there in that locker room. That's all I have to go off of is the articles that I read, right? That's all we have. But these other players are in the locker room with them. They see things that we don't see. So I really hope that him taking this time off doesn't necessarily mess with the mood of everything else. And like I said, the whole Tristan Thompson thing, personally, I think it's going to kind of get to some of the people on the team who have already signed up and said, we're part of this. Let's do this. Let's go chase this title. Because let's be honest, this is a good year to do it. I mean, they went to the finals before and lost to San Antonio, but this would be the second best time that the Cavaliers have an opportunity to win the finals. So I don't know. There's a lot of things going on. Those are just my thoughts. I want to share them with you. If you have any questions, any comments, anything, let me know. Share this video, like it, do what you need to do, man. I appreciate y'all coming back, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.